I'd like to begin with the following statements. Whoops. Okay, take two. I'd like to begin with the following statements. To the NFL, to Kyrie Irving, Luka Doncic, and as I said yesterday, James Harden, and I'll include Dak Prescott in this statement. Y'all some bitches.
Oh, hell. Let's go.
On your mark, get set. Let's go.
I can't do it. We'll do it live. Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Mister, will you please wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up?
Good morning. Kevin Durant, you should have left California.
This Brownsexual upset me in having to bring this teenage idiot from Wisconsin into a sports conversation. Are you really surprised the Cowboys are giving up on Ezekiel Elliott?
Whoa. Hell no. Well, no one cares about baseball.
Bitch, are you for real?
Oh, yeah, baby. Let's roll. Good morning. Welcome to the Taco Tuesday edition of Snowman in the Morning. Glad to have y'all with us. And let me introduce one of our newest sponsors. It's a game called You're the Coach. My buddy Michael Ray invented this game, made it a board game, and made it absolutely fun. Go to you'rethecoach.football for all of the information. Of course, we're stacked and packed as we take you on a 120-minute journey with the best sports talk show in the region, across the nation, and around the world. We welcome those of you watching via YouTube on both the Snowman multimedia channels as well as the Shady Sports Network channel, our audience on LinkedIn, our audience on Facebook, and those of you listening in Chicago on WRUDB and WEIS, WQEE in Atlanta, WLEO in Baltimore, and those of you listening on our flagship radio station, Snowman Multimedia Sports Radio. Let's welcome the crew, the big dog Shane Lake, our producer extraordinaire, and from Chicago, Vicolai, aka Victor Locke, joins us. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, Snowman. How you be?
I'm good.
Good.
I got my breakfast. I got my mocha frappuccino, and I'm probably going to go through another one later. I'm fine.
Good.
I'm all about it today.
I must begin with this. I must begin with this story. When I was at the doctor one day, I was at my diabetes doctor, and I told him, look, I want to win the fight against caffeine, but I'm addicted to coffee. His first question to me was, how much sweetener do you put in it? I got a glare from Jody, and she starts smiling, and she says, you don't want an answer to that question. And I just raised my hand and bowed my head in shame and started laughing. And I said, guilty as charged. My doctor looked at me and he starts laughing and he says, I know, I understand the struggle. He then said, you can have 2 cups a day. And I'm thinking, okay, cool. Leave it to my wife to have the entire room cracking up because out of nowhere, and y'all know I'm a Starbucks fiend, out of nowhere, my wife lifts this up and goes, this is not a cup.
No.
The whole room. My doctor walked out.
Yeah, he had enough. He knew what was going on.
My doctor walked out. I'm in a pool full of laughter. And Jody just gives me the most innocent look and goes, what?
What I said?
She's like, I'm telling the truth. I said, baby, that's why I'm laughing.
She pulled a you.
She did.
She pulled you. What'd I say? What'd I say?
And that's exactly the way she looked at me. She says, I'm telling the truth. I said, baby, that's why I'm laughing, because you are telling the truth. RC is with us. Ryan McCarthy in the chat as well. It's not the caffeine, but all the added ish you put in your coffee that'll kill you. Yeah, guilty as charged. I just can't drink bitter coffee though. I just can't. I gotta learn to. If I even acquire the taste, I know I gotta drink it black and not put all the extra stuff in it. But I can't help it.
Just don't put anything overly sweet in it. Like, I'm trying to back off of that because I made the mistake of buying this this creamer for my coffee that's made from Cinnabon. That's a mistake.
Yep.
That is a mistake because Cinnabon, you already know how Cinnabon looks. No one, as one of my favorite pieces,
if you've had Cinnabon buns,
bruh.
If you've had any taste of the Cinnabon buns,
game over.
Yes, game set match.
Absolute game over.
No one is proud to go to Cinnabon.
RC to answer your question, Cash App works a whole lot better because it gives me a chance to get some lunch and a chance to help my family as well. The tag you need, folks, if you want to donate, is $ Tallman Dr. K50. That immediately helps my family. I appreciate the super chats, but if y'all want to help in the immediate, the Cash App is the way to go. But back to our discussion to kick off the show. If y'all had any small piece of a Cinnabon bun, game over.
Well, here's the thing. For most people
that's Montana to Dwight Clark in the back of the end zone.
Here's the thing. For most people who don't know about Cinnabon, cinnamon
God.
rolls, right? About the size of the palm of your hand, right? Maybe a little bit less for most cinnamon rolls. Cinnabon is about the size of a softball.
Yep.
Cinnabon triples it.
Sugar and brown sugar and cinnamon, all of that everywhere. And then to top it all off, they have the frosting.
And it's
yeah.
warm.
With just a goop
if y'all
butter.
If anybody went into a mall and saw Cinnabon as a pop-up,
you're done. You're done.
It's over.
And to make things worse, right? As if they couldn't be any more
evil.
Thank you.
Evil.
They decided to come up with Mocha Lotta Chill.
Oh God.
And that's what
I've had that.
And that's what they put out for the free sample.
I know. I had that.
So they're like,
I had that. I went in a coma.
I'm like, what's a Mocha Lotta Chill? Oh no.
Oh hell.
Oh no.
The Cinnabon Mocha Latte Chill. Victor, I did that once in my coffee. One of the before we came to Chicago to go to Soldier Field. One of the last times I was in Chicago, 2016, I had that. I got a regular coffee from Starbucks,
Mhm.
I asked them not to load it because someone gave me a free sample of that ish
Mhm.
of the mocha latte chill from Cinnabon. I put it in my coffee and I was in a coma.
Man,
It was 80 degrees. I sat outside on State and Adams. You know that Starbucks on State and Adams?
I do.
They had all the chairs out. It was 80 degrees. I had that. I sat in that chair, and it was 9:30 when I sat outside with my laptop.
Right.
Next thing I knew, it was 2:00.
Man, Chicago Ridge Mall, which
Oh God.
I've been there since I was a kid. Chicago Ridge Mall.
Yep.
Right before you hit the food court, there's a Cinnabon there.
Mhm.
That place is still there today. I'm talking about.
Mhm.
I've been there since about 1990, 1991,
Mhm.
and that place is still there.
You know which mall got me with Cinnabon?
Mm-hmm.
Ford City.
Yep, Ford City.
Shane, let me tell you about Ford City.
Okay.
Ford City was one of those kind of malls where you had your basic stores, but when you got toward the food court, you could smell the Cinnabon
Mm-hmm.
from a mile away. A mile, literally a mile.
And the Ann's pretzels too.
Oh,
Ann's
my
pretzels.
God.
Oh Jesus. Listen. Ann's pretzels, Cinnabon, they were both the pop-ups before you got to the food court, man.
Mm-hmm.
Before you got to the food court. And you had to stop. And Victor, you knew the food court layout of Ford City.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You get to Cinnabon and you ain't moving.
Nope.
Yep.
Those cinnamon rolls, Victor says the size of a softball. The hell with that. Those are the size of a saucer. And every part of that saucer was covered. And what really made it so bad, they heated it up.
And then gave you a cup of extra frosting just in case the frosting that they globbed on top was not enough. They gave you an extra cup of frosting.
And like Victor said, they buttered the hell out of it. And you saw them make the bun. You saw them make the buns from scratch.
Mm-hmm.
You saw them make
that's
the buns
awesome.
You saw them make the buns from scratch. Okay. You saw the process. Okay. Doc Rivers famously said before the Celtics beat the hell out of the Cavaliers in 2010, you got to focus, you got to sustain, and you got to go through the process. All right. Anybody remember that speech from Game 6?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
In 2010, you saw Cinnabon go through the process.
Yep.
You ain't sustaining after you had one of those. And I made the critical mistake one afternoon because I was so mad at my family. Okay?
Oh, boy.
I was dealing with my sister and dealing with my mother. I had a basketball game that night. I went to Ford City because I had about 4 hours to kill before I went on site. I had 3 of them.
Someone was out like a bulb.
Man.
And I had to, Shane, I had to drive.
Rip.
Bouncing off the walls.
I had to drive. Okay? I had to drive from Ford City, God help me, out to Marian Catholic in Chicago Heights.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
And I yawned the entire bleeping trip.
Mm-hmm.
Now, mind you, I had the I had the 3 Cinnabons, all fresh.
Yep.
All gooped in icing, gooped in butter, everything.
Mm-hmm.
And they were fall off the roll Cinnabons.
Yeah.
Oh,
I made a critical mistake.
What'd you do?
I coupled it with the cherry Pepsi.
Oh, no.
Well, where's the
Y'all know how
FCC
much I
button
got
when I
spoiled.
need it?
You
Right.
remember how much I got spoiled? Y'all remember how much I got spoiled when I covered Marquette Catholic
Yep.
in Michigan City? Yeah. That's how much Marian Catholic spoiled me that night.
Oh boy.
Oh, and what did they have on the docket? Cinnabons!
More Cinnabons. I said no
I
one
didn't
goes there
move.
happy.
I didn't move out of my bed for 2 days.
No one goes there happy. Everyone, when they go to Cinnabon, they're like, oh, I can't believe
The only people that didn't have the Cinnabons until after the game were the players and the coaches from both teams.
Right.
Because they had to play a game. They're playing St. Joseph that night. The players and the coaches were focused. My crazy ass, not happening. I still don't know how I called that game accurately. We got a break. When we got it because we keep talking about food. 120 minutes will pass us by, and we're not getting to the main stories, which is
exactly.
Caitlin Clark rescued the Hawkeyes last night, and to borrow from RC, we had to play the 1995 Knicks dressed up as West Virginia, who gave the Hawkeyes a hell of a fight last night in a game that I called, and a hybrid kickoff.
What? He's gonna explain.
I will definitely explain when y'all get back.
Everything Boston. I love you morons. New Kids on the Block, New Edition.
Dear whatever the law firm is. Sincerely, the U.S. Supreme Court.
Ben Affleck, Matt Damon. Go yourself again, Jason Whitlock.
Join the transporter to Hades.
Your butt and gut becomes one.
Join the reformer of hooker whores.
This is my daughter, Placenta Booty Johnson.
Join the bronze claw.
Whenever you are in distress, take off your baseball cap and throw it in the air.
Join your very own superhero of broadcasting, Chris Bass.
So whatever color crayon they get, they palm it and do 2 circles, and that translates to I can be the black people.
As she takes you through the week's paces in Baseline. Live every Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central, Pacific Time Zone people, just stay asleep when this is on live and just catch the recording. Oh, I'm sorry. Exclusively on the Chris Bass YouTube channel. Ready to hang with some fellas who know football? Let's ride. LC Muscles 28.
I think they're the most overrated defense in the league.
Steel Sermon.
We did not trail for a single second.
Tiny Tim.
McCarthy is a bonehead.
A Pistol 90.
I'm going with my boys. Fins up, baby.
Get ready for the 4 Horsemen of Pick'ems. Every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central on YouTube.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Welcome back with the Big Dog and Vicola. Snowman is here. March Madness is here. The NBA, NHL, and Major League Baseball, which begins Thursday, are also here. And if you want the best action, go to BetUS.com. The sportsbook is celebrating their 30th year with the best action at the right time. Try your parlays. Try any parlays. Try anything. But when you log on to BETUS.com, use the code Snowman for a 125% deposit match. BetUS.com, where the game begins. Speaking of games, I can't believe I'm going to read this.
Oh, boy.
Here we go.
This is according to NFL.com, okay, and many, many other outlets, but I'm reading this off of the NFL website. The NFL is following through on its desire to jumpstart the kickoff. Owners approved the hybrid kickoff rule on Tuesday during the annual league meeting. Ian Rappaport and Tom Pelissero reported per sources informed of the decision. The vote passed 29-3. NFL Competition Committee Chairman Rich McKay told reporters. It will dramatically alter the look and feel of the kickoff, a play that had become an afterthought as safety rules essentially wiped out incentives for a return. The past kickoff rule features new alignments for both the kicking and receiving units. A landing zone, the area between the receiving team's goal line and its 20, would prompt action off the kickoff if the ball were to land in that sector. Kickoffs will remain at the 35-yard line, but the remaining 10 players on the kicking unit will line up at the opposing team's 40. The receiving team lines up with at least 7 players in the setup zone, a 5-yard area between their own 30 and 35-yard lines, with a maximum, of 2 returners can line up in the landing zone. Are y'all following me? Me neither. After the ball is kicked, the kicker cannot take 2. After the ball is kicked, the kicker cannot cross the 50-yard line, and the 10 kicking team players cannot move until the ball hits the ground or a player in the landing zone or goes into the end zone. The receiving team's players in the setup zone also cannot move until the kick has hit the ground or a player in the landing zone or the end zone. The returners may move at any time before or during the kickoff. Penalties on scoring plays also will not carry over and will be taken on the point after attempt. On any penalty that carries over to kickoffs, the setup and landing zones will not change, nor will the alignment of the 10 kickoff team players and all the receiving team players. Only the kicker's positioning moves. Kickoffs that hit the landing zone must be returned. Kickoffs that hit the landing zone and then go into the end zone must be returned or downed by the receiving team. If downed, the receiving team would get the ball at its own 20. Kickoffs that go into the end zone and stay in bounds that are downed would give the receiving team the ball at their own 30. Kickoffs that go out of the back of the end zone in the air or on bounces would also be a touchback at the receiving team's 30-yard line. Kickoffs short of the landing zone would not be treated as a kickoff out of bounds, or would be treated, I beg your pardon, like a kickoff out of bounds, and the receiving team would get the ball at its own 40. Got that?
No.
Me neither.
So you mean to tell me this is basically going to do away with onside kicks?
I don't know.
Because it sounds like to me they're getting rid of onside kicks and they're really screwing the pooch on everything else. Like,
have they not? This is, you know what?
I've never heard something so convoluted and stupid in all my life.
Whose drunk ass came up with this?
Goodell.
Thank you, Victor. You were in my head on that one.
That explains a lot.
Thank you, Victor.
My God.
You tell me how the hell is this going to work? How the hell is this going to... I have no idea what the hell this is.
Hashtag McCoffee for commish. I'm putting it out now.
Can we have McCoffey be the commissioner for both the NFL and Major League Baseball?
I would like that. I'd take that.
No, let me be the You know what? McCoffey can be the commissioner for Major League Baseball and the NFL. I want to be the NBA commissioner. I'll explain why later on in the show. But what is this?
I have no idea.
It's like as if the NFL could not get any softer.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kobe Bean Bryant. It's like the NFL could not the NFL could not get any softer. Shane already has a headache. I have a headache.
What type of brain fart is this?
It's exactly what you said it just said it was. A brain fart. A huge
so stupid.
Okay, let me see if I can break this down. You're gonna have the front 10. You're gonna have the front 10 sitting at the opponent's 40,
right?
With the kicker sitting back at his own 35, ready to kick the ball off. You can't move until the ball is in a landing zone, which is basically the opponent's red zone.
Yeah.
What the hell is the?
But yet again, there's 3 different types of ways that they can get yardage, whether the ball is down and it goes straight to the 20, or it's kicked out or something and it goes to the 30.
Mm-hmm.
And you try to kick it onside, everyone's going to get the ball at the 40.
Yeah.
That's it.
And here's the thing. The whole idea of the coverage team and the receiving team is that they're supposed to set up for the return, whether it be to create lanes and seams for the return man, like Devin Hester, or to stonewall the return man so he goes nowhere. Now you're saying half the field can't move. Half of both rosters cannot move.
Until the ball is touched by the receiving team.
Right. Until the ball is touched, which means a lot of guys, I guarantee you, they're going to intentionally miss the football. They're going to do some step backs where they can actually step back, miss the football.
I hope.
Then either pick it up or they can down it.
Yeah, and the thing about it is it doesn't matter where it's landing in that zone. If you down it, you get it straight at the 20. Jesus. What the blue is this?
Just
I'm gonna have to buy stock of Excedrin this year for watching football.
I'm gonna have to buy stock of Excedrin and a lot of other things.
I'm not looking forward to this year already. I'm not looking forward to this year.
I'm not. Look,
my head hurts.
Wait, just a minute, Chris.
There. What in the all types of blue hell?
For those of you, myself included, that made a mistake and clicked on Tom Pelissero's tweet and wanted, God help us, a visual. Here it is. Can anybody make sense of this?
That did not help at all.
I had to flip it. I had to flip it to show the kickoff angle that we're used to seeing at the start of games.
Mm-hmm. That still doesn't help. That does not help.
Chris,
what in the all types of blue hell
is this? Here's the setup zone. What happened?
I have no idea.
Who is the brain dead dumbass that thought this was actually going to work?
Again,
Roger Goodell.
Okay, better question. Who's the 3 teams that actually have common sense that voted against this?
I'd love that. I love an answer.
That's a better question.
Who were the 3 teams that had common sense to vote against this?
Hmm.
Who voted? I want to know who voted against this. That's what I want to know. Who voted against this?
This is some bull right now.
Roger Goodell, wait a minute. I got to do this visually. For this,
I'm on air. What?
For I moved it, and I should not have.
This is ridiculous.
For this all I can think of is how? Why is
the following is a public service announcement from Wise El Jefe,
Boston.
This has been a public service announcement from Wise El Jefe.
How does this work?
I found out your answer.
Who voted against this?
The 3 teams that voted against it were Green Bay Packers, the Las Vegas Raiders, or the Oakland Raiders, and your team, Snowman, the San Francisco 49ers.
Thank God.
You mean to tell me? You mean to tell me?
Old school. All right, I love it.
You mean to tell me Robert Kraft screwed up?
Yep.
Apparently, so did Jarrell.
Oh my God!
So you're telling me Robert Kraft and Jarrell voted
for the 29
for this?
Yep. And the only dissenting ones were Green Bay, the
Oakland,
Raiders,
and San Francisco.
And San Fran.
Unbelievable.
I don't even know what button to.
I'm so glad
you had to. You got to figure that Jerry Jones is going to be.
I'm so glad to open my mouth because my first thought was like, okay, there's no way Jerry. No, let me shut up. I'm pretty sure he was on board with this stupid crap too.
Pat McAfee ripped this apart when he heard about it yesterday.
It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Thing in 4.5 decades of watching football. Half of this I watched with my dad.
They're doing exactly.
This is the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life.
They're doing exactly what baseball did. They are
taking the fun out of the sport.
Not just that, they're changing everything, making it more convoluted than it needs to be.
What they're doing is trying to put excitement back into the game, and it's going to get screwed up.
It was already exciting. It was already exciting. You need to add more excitement. It was exciting enough.
Yeah, gee, I feel like I've said that before about something else I actually give a crap about. NASCAR,
Right?
anybody?
Ooh.
I said the same thing about the National Basketball Association more than once. If y'all like what you're hearing, please do me a favor. Make a donation to the Cash App at $Tallman Dr. K50 so I can continue to help my family. I'm disabled, and this is my only source of income for the moment. We're talking football and the stupidest,
absolute idiocy.
It's not like football was getting killed in the ratings. They were still up there.
Right.
And now they come up with this bull idea?
Stop it. Get some help.
Please.
There ain't enough help for it, dude. There ain't enough help for it. What are they trying to do? Turn into the UFL? Wait a minute.
You, and I repeat, you. I couldn't help it. I'm sorry, honey.
It's going to be one of those days.
I couldn't help it. I couldn't resist it. I couldn't help it. Good Lord. Not even Chris Bass could bail us out of this one.
Nope. Not a chance.
Not a chance. Saturday, the Iowa Lady Hawkeyes are back in action, and we will have the call as they take on fifth-seeded Colorado in Albany, New York. We're awaiting the time, and as soon as we get the time, a half hour prior, we will have the BetUS.com pregame show. Jump on to youtube.com/@Snowman Multimedia to follow all of the action. We still are not done breaking this holy roller rule down, and I put holy roller in place of any other George Carlin four-letter word I can think of.
Yeah.
Insert FCC censorship here.
With all the beeps in the world, could not stop this. It can't. It can't. We're going to stay on this, and I promise we're going to get to what Caitlin Clark did last night in Iowa City in her final game at Carver Hawkeye Arena. We'll take a look at the women's Sweet 16 matchups in Albany and Portland, but we got to stay with this because now that we know the three teams that voted against this, what does this say about the remaining teams in the NFL?
They're idiots.
We'll talk about that when y'all get back.
Hey, Eagles fan. Join my man Cool McCain and a host of others as they break down every single game, every single week in an objective manner, and also from a fan's perspective as well. Remember, this cast feels just like you. Nobody likes you. And you don't care. Fly, Eagles, fly. Eagles Elite Podcast. Every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern on YouTube and other podcast outlets.
Everything Boston. I love you morons. You kids from the block. New Edition.
Dear whatever the law firm is. Sincerely, the U.S. Supreme Court.
Ben Affleck, Matt Damon. Go yourself again, Jason Whitlock.
Ready to hang with some fellas who know football? Let's ride. LC Muscles 28.
I think they're the most overrated defense in the league.
Steel Sermon.
We did not trail for a single second.
Tiny Tim.
McCarthy is a bonehead.
A Pizzle 90.
I'm going with my boys. Fins up, baby.
Get ready for the Four Horsemen of Pick'ems. Every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central on YouTube. Poppy J.
You got the option to cry for the government. You got the option to protest. You got the option to keep buying. But this is also an option.
Wise El Jefe.
We're the first tech geeks. We're the first gamers. We're the first everything. Everything. Like Gen X's, we are the ones.
BS3 Network proudly presents the crew from the New York boroughs who never wants that smoke. Nah, they want that fire. Poppy J and Wise El Jefe. Fridays at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. Check your local listings for your viewing and listening pleasure.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
And of course, it's my beautiful wife, Jody, bringing us back to the program. Hey, folks, listen up. If you want to play a realistic board football game, a game that is so realistic you will feel like you are down on the field, then why don't you check out You'reTheCoach.Football, the ultimate football board game. Weather conditions like playing in the snow, in the rain, in really windy conditions, when the players get tired, substitutions may be needed because there could be a drop in talent. known as the fatigue factor. No one to play. You can even play the coach. It's like a built-in computer on paper with dice. Check out you'rethecoach.football for more information and give my buddy Michael Ray, W-R-A-Y, a subscribe on Facebook and YouTube as well. Speaking of football, we are still trying to dissect. Give me this button. What the this hybrid rule is? This hybrid kickoff rule.
It's a bunch of crap.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, that game, you're the coach. I guarantee you'll be a better coach than Mike McCarthy. I guarantee it.
I agree. Mike McCarthy, you a bitch. I'm sorry.
Oh, here we go.
I couldn't help it. I'm sorry. But this hybrid rule is stupid. You want kick returns? Send everybody back into the end zone and tell them to bring it out. That's how you fix that.
Yes. Send the house. The whole
You're making the game softer than it already is. Pro Bowl anyone or lack thereof?
Pretty much.
You set up the feel for how the run is going to go. That's what made it so much fun because the coverage team is going to stop everything, and it just takes that one or two moves that can spring you for the end zone. Again, i.e., Devin Hester,
John Taylor,
Dante
Hall.
You want
kick returners? Deion Sanders, Marshall Faulk. Marshall Faulk was a kick returner once upon a time, folks. Even in his days at San Diego State. Look it up. Hell, for one play against the Bears, Adrian frickin' Peterson.
Just as long as you weren't an R.W. McQuarters.
Dear God.
How many Chicago Bear fans?
Guy just gave us the best quote of the day. He gave us the best comment of the day. Won't be long before there's a penalty for any tackle.
We're already there.
Jarrett, anyone? We're already there. Grady Jarrett, anyone? And y'all know I'm mentioning Grady Jarrett. Go back 3 years and look up Grady Jarrett's tackle against Tom Brady.
Mm-hmm.
There is no football anymore.
No.
Nope.
Which pisses me off because I love football.
At this rate, you're going to see harder hits in Madden than you are on the field.
You're going to see harder hits on NFL Blitz.
You're going to see harder hits on Pee Wee.
Facts.
You're going to see harder hits in Pee Wee football.
You know what? I got to step away for a bit, so I'm going to give Shane the floor and let you guys talk.
Please. I want to hear Shane go off.
Shane, you have the floor for about the next 7 minutes. You got okay. B. Dyer, before I step away here, as a Falcons fan, that Grady Jarrett sack made me want to send my TV into a new dimension. Facts.
Yeah.
Facts. You're looking at a Patriot fan in our crew here, and when I mentioned this yesterday about that Grady Jarrett sack, and Shane's response was, "What happened to football?" When I brought that up.
We are seeing a continuation of it. We're seeing continuation of the mountain getting collapsed.
From the bottom.
It's like the team. It's like the owners just threw a whole bunch of TNT underneath the mountain and said, "Hey, let's blow this bitch up."
This is Roger Goodell trying to say,
"I'm the juggernaut, bitch."
Shane, the floor is yours. I'll be right back.
Oh God, I need the FCC button for a lot of what I want to say. And Vic, I know you're right there with me with a lot of this.
Oh, I'm right there with you, bro.
Let me put it like this. Let me fix the camera so I can actually look into it for once in my damn life. Goodell, give me this. Goodell, what the hell are you thinking, dude? This isn't how you run football. You're going to soften the league up to the point where somebody my size, 6'4", 285, could make millions without being athletic. There are athletes that play this game. There's a reason why we actually can, support the teams. This is going to make the teams fall apart. You come up with this hybrid rule for a kickoff. Pat McAfee went off on this yesterday on his show.
As he should.
There are going to be no more surprise onside kicks. Hell, there's probably not even going to be an onside kick to begin with. And now we're coming up with landing zones and setup zones. And what is this? The XFL and Vince McMahon is back running the show? I heard that, Vic. I heard that.
Bruh.
Yeah. It's getting to the point where now the NFL is made for TV.
Not only that, it's almost like, again, they're also worried about injuries. Most of the football players that, at least when we were watching, right?
Yep.
Most of them were aware of the risk. They
Yes.
knew the job was dangerous when they took it, and they said, I want the smoke. I want to go to war.
And now we're not even getting anything close to smoke. We're getting y'all are better off throwing pillows underneath those helmets.
I'm guarantee you they're all going to start playing in bubbles soon enough.
Oh,
There's
easily.
There's going to be
Bubble
bubbles
wrap.
around. Yep.
Everyone's going to be rocking bubble wrap padding along with 3 extra layers of everything else.
And it's so saddening.
It is, because this isn't what we grew up with.
And who are you going to market this to? Because the men, they're not going for this.
Nope, we aren't.
Women don't really watch football too tough. Some do, most don't. I had a girlfriend who was into the Bears. Of course, everyone knows Dr. K is for the Indianapolis Colts.
I grew up in a Patriots household. My sister watched. My dad watched.
There you go. So some women do watch, most do not. But most of the men are going to turn away from this crap because this is ridiculous.
You know what? I got a bigger question when it comes down to things. What about the Taylor Swift influence? Think about that for a second.
I personally don't know if I can attune this with her, only because she seems to only be worried about the Chiefs because her man's there.
Well, what I'm saying is, would this rule have come up if they weren't trying to market to a bigger demographic? And Taylor Swift has one hell of a demographic behind her.
Oh, she does. She certainly does.
So you got to figure they're trying to maybe speed the game up or what have. Again, I got to equate this to what went down with NASCAR in the last handful of years.
Mm-hmm.
Rule changes for the playoffs, rule change this, rule change that. The stage breaks. God help me when it comes to that. And the fact of the matter is, this is trying to infuse excitement.
That doesn't need to be, because it's already there. It's already self-implemented.
Yeah, but the problem is the powers that be have their heads shoved so far up their own fucking asses that, quite frankly, yeah, they think they need excitement. No, we don't.
Just remind me again about the NBA Cup.
God help us all when it comes to that, and the Lakers are still touting that.
It's so ridiculous.
It's stupid.
Like, and then every time they do this, they always like, well, we're going to get a whole slew of new eyes. Yeah, but the problem is you're losing the faithful that's been there for years and years and years.
You might get a whole batch of new eyes, but you're losing the ones that have been making you the money before that.
And then who said that those new eyes are going to stay?
That's the thing. You might get them for a game, or you might get them for a series, or you might maybe get them for a year if you're lucky.
Yeah.
What's to say they're going to watch next year?
They're not.
Especially if you come up with more asinine BS like this.
So not only do you run the risk of not making back the viewers that you're going to lose, because I know they know that they're going to lose viewers. They can't be that stupid to think they're not losing viewers from this.
Oh, they're going to be losing viewers from this. I guarantee you every single game this year, this upcoming season, including the Super Bowl, the ratings will be down.
Oh, I see it. I have no doubt.
And McCarthy came up with a point that the NFL is also trying to plan a Christmas Day game in 2024 with it falling on a Wednesday this year. What? Wednesday football on Christmas Day.
Wednesday football, like anyone's watching.
Well, the NBA usually has that day covered in a nutshell.
And that's the thing. They should leave that one for the NBA because the NBA needs all the help it can get.
Yeah,
the NFL doesn't. I'm sorry. Go
the
ahead.
The NFL don't need it.
Right. The
but
NFL
yet
doesn't
again,
need the chase.
Yeah. Well, apparently they want the chase. The problem is the chase don't want it.
Right. The NFL does not need to chase down viewers. Just put the game that you normally have, and you're good.
I swear, man, we're losing more and more of what we grew up with.
And it's been happening for so long that most people don't even care anymore.
At this point, a lot of us old-time fans have just thrown our hands up, and we're just watching the fires with the hot dogs and the marshmallows like, all right.
Yeah, it was like we all resigned to this fate of this is going to go down the crap. It's going to go down the crapper in about the next couple of years.
Yep, we're just roasting some marshmallows and hot dogs, waiting for it to finish. It's like the nuclear apocalypse. The only thing left is going to be Twinkies and cockroaches. Hey, NFL, here's your sign.
I'm always reminded of what Kevin Nash telling the story about how WCW started to lose their rating because WCW used to beat WWE back in the day.
Monday Night Wars.
Yep, I think for like 82, 83 weeks they were at the top.
Bischoff's podcast, 83 weeks.
Mm-hmm. And then Kevin Nash said he was with Kevin Sullivan right after WWE got Mike Tyson.
Tyson flipped it.
Yep, and he said, take note, the water's colder today. And Kev said, I knew we were done. That's kind of where we're at now. We see a lot. We see a new rule like this that completely takes all the excitement out of the kickoff, because the kickoff was all about, you're still going to catch the ball. Well, about, what if someone causes a fumble when they're running? Who's going to take it to the house? Now it's
we're not going to see that anymore.
Right. Now it's like, who cares?
It's another stupid rule.
I make a rule proposal. The first player this coming season that takes a kickoff all the way back gets a $50 million bonus.
I'm game.
I'm game for that. Gives some incentive to play.
Yeah, because there's no incentive in this bolt.
Exactly.
Yeah, NBA, take a lesson. I'm sorry, did I say that aloud?
Say it for those in the back that can't hear you.
Yeah, NBA, take a lesson.
It's just ridiculous at this point.
That would cause for the NBA to pay attention, which did not.
The NBA pay attention? Get the Magoo glasses out.
Right, they do not pay attention.
You fool!
That too
was the essential response when I said that.
I'm telling you, this is it's stupid,
to say the least.
The fact that they've come up with this, now they're trying to also step in to where the NBA has Christmas Day and the NFL is like, nope, screw you, we're going to take this.
You fool!
The NBA and the NFL right now are two Titanics waiting to see who's going to sink first.
And the iceberg is sitting there like, who's going to hit me first?
The problem is they've both taken on a ton of water.
Which band's going to leave the ship before it goes down?
Which Jack is going to sink? Which Jack is going to let go of which Rose first?
Yep.
Trays, 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 trays.
Pretty much.
Does that kind of sum up the first? Does that kind of sum up the hybrid kickoff discussion?
Yep.
Pretty much.
It's ridiculous. And again, like I said,
you know what Roger Goodell's saying right now.
Moaning. But again, Snowman, the NFL doesn't need to chase for more viewers. They've been the front runners of viewership for how long now?
Since the late 80s.
And now, like, we need to get more eyes on the product. So let's do this.
So let's expand our brand overseas. Quit that ish.
Yep.
You eliminate the international game series. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
You eliminate this hybrid kickoff rule. All right? You build a stadium for the Oakland Raiders.
Yes, the Oakland Raiders.
You build a stadium for the Oakland Raiders. You blow up Cleveland Stadium. No, I'm sorry. They already did that. I can't say that.
You take the
void
lore,
Deshaun Watson's contract and tell him, get the hell out and stay out.
You take the lore and the luster of the Houston Oilers and you put it in Houston.
Put it back.
Yes, we have the
I
Houston
know
Texans,
look,
and that's great.
This is a Houston Oilers history. I know about the first year, the second year, and the last year. The middle part is missing. Put it back.
I know the Texas has now made their own, and that's great. But they should also be able to have that tie-in of history with them.
Here's what
They
else
should, but they won't.
And I'm gonna give a shout to the EP of all. I'm gonna give a shout to the EP of all EPs, Mr. Cole Johnson, when I say the history and the lore and the luster that is the Houston Oilers should be in Houston.
Now, here's the thing. Didn't the NFL learn when NFL Europe failed that games in London wasn't going to work, or games out in Europe, period, wasn't going to work?
No.
Nope.
They didn't.
They should have.
They didn't take the.
Come on! The clue break.
I'll tell you what ruined NFL Europe. Fox Sports.
Yeah, I'll go with that. But yet again, Fox is basically halfway thrown everything down the crapper when it comes to coverage.
They have.
NASCAR, anybody?
Yes, they have.
Major
They
League
have
Baseball,
ruined
anybody?
everything.
We need Joe Buck back in the booth for baseball on Fox.
Yep.
Please. I'll accept that.
Although I think this year you and I would do a hell of a better job than that.
Oh, we are.
I'm sorry.
What's up, Hey Pizzle? Hey Pizzle joining us from Florida.
Pizzle. Sorry you're in with a Patriots fan, Pizzle, but don't worry, you'll be kicking our asses this year.
Fins up, Mr. Pizzle.
Why'd you have to say that while I'm eating? I'm gonna sock you in the tooth for that, man.
It's so annoying, man. It really
even though, in the immortal words of Cole Johnson, there is no lie to be found. You just had to open your mouth and say that while I'm eating. Damn you!
It happens.
But then again, I've said some things while Shane has been eating, or while I lived in the port drinking.
Yep. Or drinking.
Really made him wreck his computer by spitting out Mountain Dew all over the place.
And I guarantee you it will happen again this year.
Mm-hmm.
With all this nonsense, it's probably going to happen sooner than we think.
After I met Shane, and thank you to the late great Dark Knight LaShawn Encarnacion. We miss you, brother. One of the first times Shane and I teamed up was 2015. And I was living in Glenview, Illinois. And Shane opened the door and said, "What are we going to do today?" And I said, "I got 120 minutes to fill."
Mm-hmm.
And Shane says, "How?" I said, "I don't know. I'm just going to hit the intro and we're going to go." Well, we got to the subject, and I got to hit the button for this. We got to the subject of and Shane froze. Shane froze, and I could hear the brakes because we weren't doing video at the time. This was 2015. I could hear the brakes going off in Shane's head. Like, okay, what are you going to do to me? And more to the point, why are you going to do this to me? It was right before Game 6 of the World Championship Series.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And Big Dog said, how bad is it going to be tonight? Meaning, how bad are the Warriors going to beat the Cleveland Cadavers? It was the moment where I said Cleveland Cadavers. Shane was taking a big gulp of Mountain Dew, and Shane posed the question to me. Normally, he says, how bad are the Warriors going to beat the Cavaliers? Me and my big fat mouth says, oh, the Cleveland Cadavers? And the next sound I heard was, which caused me to stop, and I went, what the hell was that? And Shane says, why'd you make me spit up my Mountain Dew?
There's a pretty young lady I talk to often. Her name is Chelsea. And we talk all the time. And she keeps reminding me. Now, she lives in Maryland now.
Mm-hmm.
But she always reminds me that she originated in Ohio.
Oh,
and
God.
I'm like, oh, I am so sorry. You were in one of the worst states in the world. She's like, wow, really? I'm like, yeah, because
Yes.
you're next to Cleveland. And I said it just like that. She's like, what do you have against Cleveland? Because it's Cleveland. That's what I have against Cleveland. Meanwhile, like your whole economy is based on LeBron James. Let's talk about that first and foremost.
God. Oh, Jesus Christ.
If you're around, and then not to mention, you also have the Cleveland Clowns. I mean, Browns.
Right.
She was on the floor for like 25 minutes. And she said, is it all about sports? Most of it, yes. Oh no, Cleveland's just a terrible place. Ohio's a terrible place.
And I lived in Dayton for a year.
Mm-hmm.
I lived in Dayton for a year. I lived in Columbus for 2 years before I went to Minnesota. What the hell is wrong with me?
My cousin lived in Toledo. My cousin stayed in Toledo.
I saw Toledo for 7 nights, and I ain't going back. I saw Toledo for 7 nights in April of 2005 before someone got me out of there and to Cedar Point, where I started my journey back to being me. It's 5 minutes after the hour. We got a break. Oh, God.
Oh, now what? Where did you find
Shane, I don't care how big you are, but because you opened your mouth earlier this segment, I'm dropping your ass with a Stone Cold Stunner. Here's why. Here's why I make that joke. This piece of breaking news just came across my desk. The NFL to play on Christmas Day, Wednesday this year.
Yep.
We talked about it. We said it's a very bad idea.
Open your big ass mouth. You, Shane Lake, one of my best buddies, and I love you dearly. And when I meet you and the missus, me and my missus are going to give you a big hug for keeping my ass in line. But you open your big ass mouth.
MOUF, y'all.
MOUF. The southern part of me is coming out. Everything was fine. I'm getting ready to go to a break so we can reset. I'm getting ready to go to a break. Earlier in this segment, Shane said it's a bad idea for the NFL to play on Christmas Day. Well, son of a beeswax, I get this in front of me. You asshole.
So Christmas Day. So basically now
Christmas Day is on a Wednesday.
They're actually willing to fight with NBA for Christmas Day.
The NFL played three. Here's the article. The NFL played 3 games on Christmas Day 2023, with the feature game, of course, being the Baltimore Ravens and the San Francisco 49ers. The Christmas Day games have generated massive television rankings, with ESPN's Ravens 49ers telecast having more than 27.2 million viewers, making it the second most watched Monday Night Football game since 1996. So because of the success of the 2 best teams,
and I call BS. I call shenanigans. I want to see some numbers. I call shenanigans.
I'm looking at you hang up the phone. I'm looking at the numbers. This is accurate. These numbers are accurate. I'm looking at them.
Then the people who watch that game are idiots.
Why are you calling me an idiot for watching the Ravens and the 49ers? I did that game.
That was the only game that was worth anything, and you know it.
I know that. But that's the game that they're saying and proving that they had 27.5 million people watching it.
Yeah, the only reason because it was the Ravens and the Niners.
No lie to be found.
Let that game. Nope. Let the game be anybody else. Let the game be the Bears and the Cardinals. Guarantee you it wouldn't be.
No one's gonna watch that.
Exactly.
I hate you, Victor, for that statement.
Didn't they also have the Browns versus the Texans around that time too? That was a big game too, right? Because Deshaun was coming back to face off against the Texans. Stupid. And he couldn't play. Because, oh, yeah.
Shut up! You know what I think of that game?
And
you want to know what?
Right.
You want to know what the damn thing is? People are saying that the Chiefs-Raiders game averaged 29.2 million viewers on Christmas.
I'm going to a break. We're back with the second half after this. Don't you ever tell me that lie again.
Where did the time go? I don't know how I got here.
You've done the hard part. You quit smoking. Now do the easy part and get scanned for lung cancer. If you smoked, you may still be at risk, but early detection could save your life. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org.
If you talk, they will hear you.
We all want our kids to grow up safe and healthy, so we show them how. And we tell them with honest conversations that let them know what we expect. Not just one time, but every chance we get. That's especially important when it comes to alcohol and other drugs. Kids not only need to know the dangers and how to avoid them, they need to hear it often from you. And when it comes to pain medications, opioids, they need to know that they should never be taken without a prescription and never shared with friends or family. It's dangerous and illegal. So talk with your kids and guide them through the challenges of growing up safe and healthy. Because when you talk, they hear you. For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
So tell they hear you. You can do it if you try.
He was only 58 years old when he passed away. That outcome could have been different.
Colorado happens to be one of the worst states for radon levels.
It's in our ground, and it seeps up.
The more you breathe radon, the more chance you have of DNA being hit and the cell mutated. The EPA estimates 22,000 lung cancer deaths a year caused by radon.
We all make choices. When it comes to alcohol, kids make choices whether to drink or not.
Bye, Dad.
Bye-bye.
Remember, I'm going to Alex's party tonight and sleeping over.
You have fun. Hey, have a seat for a second. Remind me about that party again?
Alex is just...
And adults make choices whether to talk about it. That's true of parents and every other trusted adult in a kid's life. Kids want to know our expectations when it comes to alcohol and other drugs. They want guidance and honest answers to their questions. And it makes a difference when the message is consistent and part of everyday conversations. So talk with your kids and help lead them on a positive path. Because when you talk, they hear you. For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
Mister? How do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Snowman, I'm about to make things worse.
Oh, no.
I found out how they're going to try to schedule the Christmas Day games. According to the Wall Street, that too. According to the Wall Street Journal, whoever plays Week 16 on Saturday, more than likely it'll be some of those teams playing on Christmas Day.
Oh.
And what's worse is the Philadelphia Eagles and New York Giants game raked in 29 million viewers for Christmas Day last year.
Oh.
Yeah.
This is terrible.
And
this is terrible. This is trash. This is weapons grade trash.
I am going to quote, in a way, the final boss himself, The Rock, when I say this is nothing more than a pile of grade A monkey crap.
I agree. I 100% agree.
so you mean to tell me, as we start the second half of this thing, that whoever plays Week 16 this year
On Saturday
will also play
Christmas Day
72 hours later on Christmas Day?
Yes.
Bitch, are you for real?
This is gonna ruin my birthday.
Blame the Wall Street Journal.
This is gonna ruin my
That's what
birthday.
they're saying.
This is going to ruin my birthday.
Bitch, are you for real?
You NFL, you ruined Christmas.
Bitch, are you for real?
Roger Goodell is now the new Grinch. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Bitch, please.
Yes, indeed.
Bitch, please.
Once again.
Now the big
Bitch, please.
Now the best question in the world is
There ain't none. I'll stop. Stop. Ain't a question you can ask to get us through this grade A homogenized Holstein. Give me this button.
I was going to ask if anyone's going to care, but I think Bishop will have the answer to that one.
I'm not even going to dignify that with an answer. You know what?
Yeah.
On second thought, yes, I am.
Hell no. To the no, no, no. Hell to the no. Hell to the no. To the no, no, no.
Bishop Bullwinkle.
This is how we're kicking off hour 2, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
I'm going to hurt my ears for this. But read that again, please. I want to be sure I understood you correctly. And the Wall Street Journal.
To make the Wednesday game happen, the teams that play on Christmas will play Saturday in Week 16, December 31st, and then turn around and play the Christmas game on Week 17.
Oh, my gosh.
She.
Yeah.
She.
Yep.
She.
That's what a lot of us are saying right about now.
You fool! She.
What sense does this all
Folks,
make?
this is how we're starting hour 2 with this
bull.
This BS.
This trash.
Some grade A bull.
You didn't say it right. This grade A homogenized Holstein back AdWords Roger Goodell infused bullshit.
Yep.
That too.
Victor, this is some bullshit.
It really is. It really is. You know what?
Oh, my brain hurts.
I can see. Can we listen? Can we talk about some good stuff? Talk about something good.
Like Caitlin Clark pulling
Like
the wind out of the fire
Caitlin
last night.
Clark. Like Caitlin Clark pulling a Shawn Michaels out of WrestleMania 14
And pulling a
stealing the
victory out of
show.
their ass. Because West Virginia gave them hell last night.
Caitlin Clark.
We need to folks, we need to reset our brains, which is what we're gonna do. After these last 9 minutes of finding out what, we'll be back.
Everything Boston. I love you morons. New Kids on the Block, New Edition.
Dear whatever the law firm is. Sincerely, the U.S. Supreme Court.
Ben Affleck, Matt Damon. Go yourself again, Jason
Join the transporter to Hades.
Your butt and gut becomes one.
Join the reformer of hooker whores.
This is my daughter, Placenta Booty Johnson.
Join the bronze god.
Whenever you are in distress, take off your baseball cap and throw it in the air.
Join your very own superhero of broadcasting, Chris Bass.
So whatever color crayon they get, they palm it and do 2 circles, and that translates to I can beat up black people.
As she takes you through the week's paces in Baseline. Live every Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central, Pacific Time Zone people, just stay asleep when this is on live and just catch the recording. Oh, I'm sorry. Exclusively on the Chris Bass YouTube channel. Ready to hang with some fellas who know football? Let's ride. LC Muscles 28.
I think they're the most overrated defense in the league.
Steel Sermon.
We did not trail for a single second.
Tiny Tim.
McCarthy is a bonehead.
A Pizzle 90.
I'm going with my boys. Fins up, baby.
Get ready for the 4 Horsemen of Peckham's. Every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central on YouTube.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Bang, bang, Niner. Oh, I'm sorry. Wrong.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Niners are also celebrating the fact that it said, hey, this whole hybrid kickoff thing is for the birds. We ain't having it.
We ain't having it.
Nope.
Damn it.
I was going to say I actually have a bit of good news to talk about for later on in the month.
Baseball?
Besides that, actually something a little bit closer.
Really?
Like meaning what?
Oh, after yesterday's show, me and Darian got together about a little conversation that I was tossing around an idea for.
I
And we're
didn't
actually
do it, damn it.
No.
Who said you did?
You?
Snowman,
Me?
there's something I want to say right now, but I can't. But as it turns out, we are going to be following through on something. So you guys may want to carve out a weekend, as in the weekend of April 6th and April 7th.
Oh.
Watch Party WrestleMania 40. Darian and I are hosting.
I would, were it not for two things.
One,
Jody Snow.
Yeah, I feel that.
Because I know she's going to be exhausted, as she usually is at the end of the week. And I understand. Look, it's WrestleMania 40 in Philadelphia.
And neither show will be over before midnight.
Not only that, I'd have... Oh, shucks.
You got a game to call.
April 7th is out. April 7th is out. I have a national championship to call. Speaking of which...
Don't tell me I'm pulling a triple.
The Iowa Hawkeyes have taken a step closer to Cleveland as they won last night over West Virginia 68-58. But I can tell y'all, it was not the easiest trick in the world to pull off. Caitlin Clark finished with 34. No, I think 32. Ryan, do some research for me. Y'all do some research. I think 32 last night. I did the game. I should know the total, but I went to sleep. And as my wife often says, I've slept since then. I think 32 was her final total last night. As you look at the highlights, courtesy of ESPN, West Virginia's defense, as Caitlin Clark just hit a long three from straight on, West Virginia's defense last night was off the bleeping charts.
32.
Thank you.
32. 8 rebounds and 5 threes.
But she also turned the ball over 7 times, which is rare to see from a team that's averaging 93 points per game. And every time Iowa went far ahead, West Virginia had an answer, to the point where they tied the game in the fourth quarter at 48 and wiped out a 10-point deficit that they had to begin the fourth quarter. But give these Hawkeyes a lot of credit, and give Lisa Bluter a lot of credit, because one of the players that is key for Iowa going into the Sweet 16 is Gabby Marshall. And with all her rebounds that she had last night, she was scoreless. She wound up scoreless. And that is not going to do when they see Colorado next Saturday.
No, that's not. They're going to get schooled if she keeps getting held scoreless, plain and simple.
And Kate Martin only had 7 last night. And those two are so key to their 3-guard offense with Clark, Kate Martin, and Gabby Marshall. Now, I want to give some kudos also to Hannah Stulke from the Hawkeyes, but also to J.J. Quinterly from West Virginia, who kept her team in the ball game. This West Virginia team, as RC said earlier in the show, reminded you so much of the Knicks from 1995. Hard-nosed, defensive, they get after you on the boards, they challenge you on the boards, and there were all kinds of challenges last night. But in the end, Iowa pulled away and wound up winning by 10, 68-58, to move back into the Sweet 16. Remember, they got to the national championship last year and lost to LSU 102-85. and we'll get you the bracket here in just a minute. But I want to hear from Shane first. You had a chance to look at the highlights, and you looked at the numbers. We all know what Caitlin Clark means to the Hawkeyes. We all know what Hannah Stolke, the super sophomore, means to the Hawkeyes. How big is Gabby Marshall's production going to be come Saturday night against Colorado?
Put it this way, if she doesn't produce, Iowa's going down. They need to have Gabby produce, plain and simple. Even if it's 10, 12 points, she has to produce, or else, Colorado's going to focus in on Stokey. Colorado's going to focus in on Clark. She needs to be able to produce numbers. They don't. Iowa's bounced, plain and simple.
And looking at that game last night, and looking at how Colorado beat up Kansas State, it's going to be another defensive game. Victor, you had a chance to take a look last night. It's going to be another defensive game facing Iowa against Colorado in a game that a lot of people anticipated happening. But now that it's here, and I'm looking at this, it's a 3:30 kickoff, which means I'm going to be horribly busy this weekend. Because I got this one at 3:30. This one takes precedence over the UFL. So I'm moving the UFL games to Sunday. I'm moving the UFL game to Sunday, the coverage therein. And
I got the NASCAR race Sunday to call. Whew.
And they're still not out of the woods yet because LSU remains, UCLA remains. Matter of fact, let me do this.
Uh-oh.
LSU remains, UCLA remains, Colorado remains, and
USC remains, and UConn remains.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just on their side of the bracket. That's not even talking about Stanford. That's not talking about Texas. That's not talking about Notre Dame. That's not talking South Carolina.
Oh,
right.
No. And
take a look at the brackets here as we will go through it with you guys. And you see the full bracket. I'm going to zoom in here in just a moment and guide everybody around. Let's go. Let's start in Albany. South Carolina remains undefeated. They drilled North Carolina 88-41. We talked about that yesterday. They'll get 4th seed Indiana. Matter of fact, the top 4 seeds in this part of the Albany Regional remain as Oregon State beat Nebraska by 10 and Notre Dame drilled Ole Miss 71-56. So you have the top 4 seeds remaining in this part of the Albany Regional. 1 and 4, South Carolina and Indiana, and 2 and 3, Notre Dame and Oregon State at the bottom of the bracket. Oregon State and Notre Dame will go at 2:30 on Friday. South Carolina, Indiana will go Friday at 5 o'clock. Now to the Portland Regional, everybody is set. All the matchups are set there. Top seed Texas remains. They will take on 4th seed Gonzaga, which beat Utah 77-66. And the bottom part of this regional goes 2 and 3, North Carolina State and Stanford. And I'll tell you something about North Carolina State. They had to hold off a very game Tennessee squad. Stanford had to hold off Iowa State in 2 overtimes to win that game by a final of 87-81. That took 2 overtimes. Now, in looking at these matchups, all eyes, as y'all know, will be on the Iowa Hawkeyes because it's one of 2 extremes with Iowa. They're either going to win or they're going to lose. Okay. There are a lot of people. Let me change my statement. There are a lot of people that want to see Iowa win it all, like myself, and a lot of people want to see Iowa go down. Mark Kellogg, the coach of West Virginia, said we want to send Iowa home. Well, he had a chance to do it last night, but didn't. We'll take a deep dive into the Iowa-Colorado matchup, but I want to take a look at this matchup right here: UCLA and LSU. So the only 4 seed that's out is Kansas State, and they got beat by Colorado by 13. This matchup right here, after UCLA struggled against Creighton, The national champs, the defending champs, still remain in this tournament. So it's still a gauntlet for Iowa to get back to the Final Four. And as Shane mentioned before, Notre Dame is still here. Stanford is still here. Oregon State is still here. Texas is still here. Okay. Bottom of this bracket, Southern California will take on 5th seed Baylor, which ousted Virginia Tech without the ACC Player of the Year. UConn and Duke will play at 8 o'clock on Saturday.
Yeah, with Duke upsetting Ohio State 75-63.
And that's the second time Ohio State has been upset in a tournament. Of course, they got drilled in the Big Ten tournament by Maryland. Which, and remember, Ohio State beat up Iowa earlier in the year in overtime. So the Sweet 16 for the women is set. And to honor Victor's wish, we're talking about something good.
When I look at that bracket,
women's tournament. Go ahead, Victor.
When I look at that bracket, 3 words keep popping to mind: war of attrition.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Because you got several of those matchups that are going to be absolute wars of attrition. And Angel Reese is looking for a repeat.
All 4 number 1 seeds remain. Texas, Southern California, South Carolina, and Iowa. All 4 number 1s remain. So there is a possibility that all 4 number 1s get to Cleveland.
But does it happen?
Exactly.
That's a good question.
If you could pick a number 1 that would be on the ropes, I have 2 of them. Unfortunately, one of them is Iowa, and the other one is Southern California.
With Iowa, I don't see Colorado being that big of an issue. I would be more concerned with the LSU-UCLA matchup.
That's what I was thinking about. Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
And with South Carolina, Indiana could take it to them in a heartbeat, but so could Notre Dame. So either one of those 2 games could be real costly.
Yes, they can.
We are going to be busy here on the channel because I'm going to put a schedule together of some. I know I'm going to do some of these games if I don't do all of them. If I don't do all of them Friday and Saturday, this is going to be a mess because I want to see all of them.
Right.
I want to see them all. And Texas and Gonzaga are playing the late game in Portland. Texas and Gonzaga are playing the late game Friday. Matter of fact, South Carolina and Indiana. No, take that back. Look again. Oregon State and Notre Dame will start the day. South Carolina and Indiana will follow them. And then the night session,
NC State,
Stanford, and then Texas and Gonzaga. The Saturday matchups, I believe, will start with LSU and UCLA and Albany. Iowa and Colorado will follow them. The bottom part of that bracket goes Southern California and Baylor, and the day will finish off with UConn and Duke. So I already know Sunday is going to be my UFL doubleheader day. Shane?
Yeah.
My voice is going to take a beating.
And why do I have
hard-working man?
And why do I have a sneaky suspicion I'm going to get a message Saturday morning?
No, you're not going to get a message Saturday morning because you're going to get it now. Be prepared.
Snowman's about to be a hard-working man. Believe that.
I think we're about to be a hard-working both.
And Victor, you bringing your Rudy Poo candy ass on this too.
Me?
Yes, you.
I'm game. You know I'm game.
I know you.
I'm going to be blown this weekend. That's for sure.
Are bringing your Rudy Poo candy asses in this busy women's basketball weekend. And as much as I would love to see on the men's side the Arizona Wildcats win it all, I'm glad I'm taking care of the women's tournament because this isn't all 4 number 1s remain in the women's tournament. All 4 of them remain. How intriguing is that?
Very, because we have possible upsets
This
galore.
is wild. This is wild as hell. And all 4 are ripe for upsets.
They are.
All 4 of them are ripe for upsets.
Which is why I call them wars of attrition, because you really don't know who's going to take it.
It was a
It's
war
not
of attrition
clear-cut.
it sure was a war of attrition last night.
Yep.
It was a war of attrition last night. And you know something? We had 3,800 viewers last night.
Nice.
And the number's still growing because a lot of people are watching the replay. The numbers are still growing, folks.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
I'm not going to have a voice come Monday.
You're
And
not.
I don't think it's going to stop growing.
Snowman, I've got a damn race on Sunday, and it's a short track event I got to call at night.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
Yeah. It's going to be a fun one.
Oh, boy.
How do you think I'm going to feel next weekend with WrestleMania falling with a Martinsville race prior at 3?
How do you think I'm going to feel with Major League Baseball getting started?
We going to be busy, baby.
Lord have mercy. And the thing, JJ needs me to sub for him to do some Phillies games.
Yep.
Because he's covering the Sixers. He came to me and said, Snowman, I need you to do some Philly games for me. Wait, what?
Because he knows how good you are at baseball.
And his schedule is loaded. LODID. Loaded.
Low and did.
Low and did. Absolutely. Okay. Now we. Oh, no. Oh, jeez.
Now what?
Whose ass is getting kicked?
We were doing good, too. And then this happened. Out of Orlando, NFL owners agreed to move the trade deadline back 1 week to the Tuesday after week 9 and authorize a significant expansion to the league's replay assist program. 3 penalty categories, intentional grounding, roughing the passer, and hits out of bounds, were added to the list of plays replay can assist and advise officials on. In addition, they agreed to allow teams to use a practice squad player as their emergency number 3 quarterback on game days after requiring that player to be an existing member of the 53-man roster last season. And you know the exact game. I want to focus on that last point right there. Allowing to use a practice squad player as their emergency number 3 quarterback. And I can bet both of you gentlemen know which game prompted that change.
I think I have an idea.
Yeah.
All you have to do is go back to Philadelphia.
Oh, no.
The NFC championship in which the Niners lost not just Brock Purdy, but Josh Johnson.
Yeah.
Purdy to an arm injury and Johnson to a concussion.
Now, out of bounds, I can see replay working for that one because there are times where I've seen.
Yeah, Cincinnati got screwed.
Because there are times I've seen, I'm like, oh no, that was inbounds.
Same with intentional grounding.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because those are some calls that could go both ways, and it could save a little bit here and there.
The Bengals got screwed on an out-of-bounds play in the AFC Championship. But we'll leave it there. Coming up next. Oh, my son.
What's all the dumb you-know-whatery going on?
The dumbassery?
Yes. Going on in the NFL.
General dumbassery right here.
This is ridiculous.
The dumbassery. The dumbassery that goes on.
Coming up next.
One more break. And give me this button. One more break. And yes, we are going to talk baseball.
Yay!
Victor's been wanting this for 2 weeks. We'll make our baseball picks when y'all get back.
Everything Boston. I love you morons. New Kids on the Block, New Edition.
Dear whatever the law firm is. Sincerely, the U.S. Supreme Court.
Ben Affleck, Matt Damon. Go yourself again, Jason Whitlock.
Join the transporter to Hades.
Your butt and gut becomes one.
Join the reformer of hooker whores.
This is my daughter, Placenta Booty Johnson.
Join the bronze claw.
Whenever you are in distress, take off your baseball cap and throw it in the air.
Join your very own superhero of broadcasting, Chris Bass.
So whatever color crown they get, they palm it and do 2 circles, and that translates to I can beat up black people.
As he takes you through the week's paces in Baseline. Live every Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central, No, Pacific Time Zone people, just stay asleep when this is on live and just catch the recording. Oh, I'm sorry. Exclusively on the Chris Bass YouTube channel. Ready to hang with some fellas who know football? Let's ride. LC Muscles 28.
I think they're the most overrated defense in the league.
Steel Sermon.
We did not trail for a single second.
Tiny Tim.
McCarthy is a bonehead.
A Pizzle 90.
I'm going with my boys. Fins up, baby.
Get ready for the 4 Horsemen of Pick'ems. Every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central on YouTube.
Mister? How do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Lot to clean up here. I meant to do this yesterday. I'm going to do it today. It's Diary of a Mad Snowman, episode 2 today. I talk about the fight for Donna. It's at 4 p.m. Eastern live. Also, WNBA draft coverage will come your way live at 7 p.m. on April 15th. And this Thursday, season debut of Snowman Broadcast Center Baseball at 4:10. It's the Yankees and the AL West champion Houston Astros. I'll have the play-by-play call of that game. And yes, I am wearing a shirt and tie for that game. I was tempted to do the Cubs and the Rangers, but I hate the Cubs, so hell with it. I'm not going to do it.
Not.
What?
That's
Good
just
choice.
That's just point blank.
Good choice.
I don't like the Cubs, period. I'll say it the way I need to say it. I hate the Cubs. I absolutely can't stand the Cubs.
Yeah, they have gone downhill recently.
I hate the Cubs with a... I'll close the show with that. All right, let's make some picks. We'll start in the American League. Who wins the American League East? I have the Baltimore Orioles.
That really wouldn't surprise me. The only problem they would have is probably the pitching staff of the Yankees might outpower them.
Yeah.
Hell no. Yankees will finish last.
Really? Wow, that's a bold prediction.
You realize that my Red Sox are currently sitting at the bottom of the barrel, right?
No Garrett Cole.
Where do you have the Sox then?
I'll get to that in a minute. Matter of fact, I'll get to it right now. I'm going to make a very bold prediction. And as Mike and Mike used to say, this is a prediction that will probably go south and go completely wrong. But I'm a homer, and I'll say it. I have the White Sox winning the Central.
Really?
The only team that would challenge them would be the Minnesota Twins, because the Minnesota Twins always give us the heebie-jeebies. Always. They always cause us problems.
If it comes down to it, I see that I see the Central going all the way to September before we figure out who wins it.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
Of course, you're also looking at the champs, these past champs. You
Yep.
look at the Astros, who are looking to try and get their way back in.
Which is why we're going to the West right now. AL West goes through Houston
Easily.
AL West goes through Houston.
Excuse me.
The wild cards from that division will be the Seattle Mariners and the Texas Rangers.
Okay. The wild card. Do you think the Rangers will go wild card again?
It'll go down to the last day. It'll go. Listen, do you know how much hell the Texas Rangers gave the Houston Astros?
Yeah.
Matter of fact, you know how much hell Seattle gave both of those teams?
Yep.
It came down to the final 3 days before Seattle got eliminated. And they got eliminated on the second to last day. Wild card from the Central, I believe, will be the Minnesota Twins. It'll be determined last week of the season.
So you're saying only one? You're also going to say you're only going to say one team out of the East ends up going the distance here?
Yep, and it's the Baltimore Orioles.
What?
The only team that may come close to them, as crazy as this sounds, would be the Toronto Blue Jays.
You know what? Considering how well they turned their season around, I can see the Orioles making a run. So long as they don't get mad because certain information was on a bulletin board.
Oh God, that was the stupidest case I ever saw.
You really don't see.
I never really went off on that. I will tomorrow.
You really don't see Tampa going far?
No.
Oof.
And I got I have a 2-word reason: no pitching.
Yeah, a lot of these are going to come out to pitching, guys. A lot of these are going to come out to the arms.
That's why my Red Sox are going to suffer this year.
To the NL East we go, and I have a surprise.
Okay.
Look at the look on Shane's face.
I'm listening.
I have a surprise pick, and that surprise pick is Philadelphia.
What about the Mets?
Don't you ever cuss at me again.
I was going to say, what about the Braves?
It'll go down to the last day.
The reason why I say Mets is because one of my boys, one of our guys, is a Mets fan.
And?
Mr. Deeds. So I had to ask.
You know who could snatch the wild card out of that? Besides Atlanta or Philadelphia, depending on who wins the division, you know a second wild card that could come out of that division? Washington.
Well, that would be a little bit of a stretch, but they'd have to really go on a run late year.
Yeah,
it would have to be a repeat of 2019.
It'll be a Herculean effort for them to get there.
To the Central Division, to the NL Central, I really don't want to pick this division. I really don't.
St. Louis for me.
Yeah, I was gonna say St. Louis or pass.
St. Louis, the wild card being Milwaukee.
I could see Milwaukee.
I don't trust the Cubs. I don't trust the Reds, and I don't trust the Pirates.
Miss Rain. Miss Rain would still have my hide if I did not.
Miss Rain would Miss Rain would kick your ass.
Exactly.
I think overall the Central Division of all of MLB will come down to the last week of baseball.
Yeah. Both Central Division will come down to the final week.
Yeah,
to the NL West.
Away.
To the NL West. I have a surprise
Dodgers.
there. Nope.
Surprise? What surprise?
I have a surprise. I mean, I love the fact that they got Shohei Ohtani. Don't get it twisted. And this other pitcher whose name I cannot pronounce because it's not in front of me right now. But it'll go down to the last week. But I say the National League West will go through San Francisco.
Ooh, that could be intriguing.
Dodgers and Giants play each other so tough.
Yeah, it's true.
They're so competitive. The National League West for me will go through San Francisco. And my
That's
National
interesting.
League Championship Series
will be.
Y'all see the evil smile on my face?
San Fran and who?
St. Louis.
I could see that.
It'll be the Giants and Cardinals in the National League Championship Series. The American League Championship Series, howsoever.
Uh-oh.
I have two choices.
One.
Houston and Baltimore.
And the other?
Houston and Chicago.
The only way I can see Chicago making any noise is they have to, and we had this conversation last year.
Yes.
They have to get better with hitting with runners in scoring position.
They have to manufacture runs.
They
can't
left.
depend. The game that I did, the lone chance I got to do a White Sox game, it was in the afternoon. We led 1-0.
Yep.
Cleveland gets 2 in the 7th. We get the bases loaded and 1 out.
Yep.
And
no production.
Nothing. And got nothing.
Got nothing.
A strikeout, a fly out, and a ground out within 9 pitches.
And it has been their problem really ever since Ozzie left. This has been their problem.
No manufactured run. The only year that it wasn't a problem was 2021 when they won the Central.
Fair enough.
Only time. I think this is the year we see Michael Kopech really break out. Garrett Crochet, who's going to be in the starting rotation this year. And I have an American League Most Valuable Player candidate from my hometown White Sox. And that's Luis Robert.
You think Lou Bob's going to go off?
Not only do I think he's going to go off,
he will go
off.
He will go off.
Well, he's going to have to definitely get some production.
And they got to drive in some runs. They have to hit with runners to scoring position. Here's the reason I choose Houston out of the American League West. Where do I start? Jose Altuve.
Yeah.
Air Jordan.
Air Jordan. Okay, Todd Callis. That's Air Jordan. That's Todd Callis's favorite phrase. For those of you that watch the Astros and know how much I profile broadcasters, TK is the fabulous television voice of the Houston Astros. And every time Jordan hits a bomb, every time, that's Todd Callis's phrase. Air Jordan.
So are you saying, so we all know that one of our mantras here on the show is to be the champs, you must unseat
the champs.
Are you thinking the Rangers are going to be unseated very quickly?
It'll take a 7th game.
Who do they fall to?
And it won't be Houston.
Ooh.
Houston.
Ooh.
Houston gets even. But I'm not counting out the Rangers either. Let me be frank. Speaking of Air Jordan, hey, Robbie Ray, remember this?
The 0-1. And Alvarez belts it deep to right field. Distant goodbye. Unbelievable. The Astros a walk-off win. Jordan Alvarez, a walk-off 3-run homer. And the Astros stun the Mariners in Game 1 of the division series. Incredible!
The house of horrors for the Seattle Mariners continues as they mob Alvarez by home plate.
Now,
Robert Ford provides the call. TBS provided the pictures on that call, so we give out our proper credit.
I'm going to say right now, normally Clips and me on this show are like oil and water. They don't mix. But I like this one. I like this one.
Jordan,
you know how long it took me to put that. You know how long it took me to put that one together?
Hey, you know what was funny about it? The fact that Cole just was laughing and dancing in the street every time this was on.
Do you think? You know how long it took me to put that together? Because the pictures provided by TBS, once again, was from Brian Anderson, had the television call. I wanted to find the call of Robert Ford, who's a friend of mine and the voice of the Astros. So when I found it, it took me 2.5 hours to like really sync it up.
Gotcha.
And then when I fell asleep, magic happened.
The 0-1. And Alvarez belts it deep to right field. Distant by. Unbelievable. The Astros a walk-off win. Yordan Alvarez, a walk-off 3-run homer. And the Astros stun the Mariners in Game 1 of the division series. Incredible.
The House of Horrors for the Seattle Mariners continue.
I'm going to find another clip really quick.
Can we just appreciate the fact of the sound that ball made coming off the stick?
Perfect.
That
was a perfect.
Perfect. Thank you, Rich Eisen.
And here's the thing
Thank you, everyone that taught me what that term meant.
Here's the thing.
I play MLB 24 the show. I know.
Well, you already know what that means.
And here's the thing about that one. From a pitcher's perspective, there's always that one pitch that once you let it go, you just cringe. Because you're like,
and Robin
that
Ray,
was a cringe.
That was a cringe.
I left that ball
was
too high. I left that ball too high and in tight. It's right on the wheelhouse. He's gonna crush it. Crack up. There it goes.
Why?
Let's just appreciate the fact of that being an absolute tank job.
Yeah.
Because as soon as Alvarez hit that home run, I said the Mariners lost the series.
You sure did.
I said the Mariners lost the series, and people were coming to me like, "What? That's only one game." Do you know how demoralizing that was?
It was demoralizing, and that's the most.
Do you know how demoralizing that was?
This is the big difference between us old school fans and the newer, more modern fans that are coming in. They look at the game and say, "Oh, well, if they only lost one game, it's no big deal." We look at it from a mental standpoint.
Man,
like when I said when we saw Week 5 between Cowboys and the Niners, after they didn't score before that half, I said, "Up, that's game."
Man, Victor came in and was Victor came in was like, "Is it over?"
It was over. I made no bones about it. But the funny thing is, it was like, it's not that big a deal. They still got a whole half left. Did you see how they looked?
They got trashed.
How dejected they looked after they didn't score there.
Well, before we get out of here, let's go back to 2022 and Yordan Alvarez's walk-off. This is courtesy of MLB.com. This is courtesy of TBS, KIRO in Seattle, KBME in Houston, couple of Spanish stations. These are all the angles of Yordan's, all the angles and all the calls of Alvarez's walk-off.
That service is calling on Robbie Ray to face Yordan
Brian
Alvarez,
Anderson on
one
TBS.
of the most feared hitters in the game. Myers at second base, the pinch
calls.
runner. Pena the runner at first, the tying run. Alvarez launches deep right field. That's what is gone.
And where that ball was,
walk him off in game 1.
Perfect.
Yordan Alvarez.
That was a 3-iron.
Are you kidding me?
That was a Tiger Woods
finish
3-iron.
to game 1 of this American League Division Series. Yordan Alvarez, a 3-run walk-off home run and a no-doubter.
Was a bit better than the last two.
Here's tonight.
Robert
The 0-1.
Ford.
And Alvarez belts it deep to right field. Distant by. Unbelievable. The Astros a walk-off win. Yordan Alvarez a walk-off 3-run homer. And the Astros stun the Mariners in game 1 of the
Downstairs,
division series.
knee-high, middle of the plate.
Incredible.
And he knew it.
A miraculous
That
comeback
was
for
a
Houston.
wheelhouse.
Astros win it
Yep.
8-7.
And that's
That's one.
Can you
That's
believe
one.
it?
That is one. If
Wow.
you miss it, you
Here's
kick
the
yourself in
stretch.
the ass
And
for
the
the
next pitch of the way. Swinging a fly ball deep to right field. Going and goodbye baseball. The Mariners led throughout the ball.
Did you hear the dejection? And I love Rick Riz. Rick Riz, the fabulous radio voice of the Seattle Mariners, whom I'm hope to have on the show soon. Did you hear the dejection in his voice?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
It was
Like, hey, I've been there.
It was like Paul Allen.
Yep.
Here it is again. Rick Riz, courtesy of KIRO in Seattle.
And the next pitch on the way. Swinging a fly ball deep to right field. Going and goodbye baseball. The Mariners led throughout the ball game. But Yordan Alvarez, the one man you did not want to take a look at.
The look on Scott Service's face.
Here's the thing. Also, that pitch, and Big Dog called it right. It was right at the knees, in the middle of the plate.
Yep.
I think the pitcher was trying to actually get it to go lower. I think he was trying to drop it out of the zone.
Yeah, I think he was.
He was
too.
either trying to drop it out of the zone or the way the catcher was set up, go more inside, and it leaked.
Yep.
Yeah, it did. All right, we're late. We got to get out of here. Have a great day. God bless. Remember to make your next move your best move. And always remember, if your dreams don't scare you, they're simply not big enough. And by the way, Dallas Cowboys.
You blew it. Capiche?
Low-hanging fruit. I had to.
Oh, thank God. I thought you were going somewhere else. And I was like, oh, God, please
What?
don't, please don't, please don't. Okay, never mind.
No.
Nope.
Let's get out of here while we can. Let's get out of here while we can.
I ate breakfast. I'm not throwing it up. But I will say this. Dak Prescott, you a bitch. We're out of here. Say tomorrow.